So the academic calendar has changed a bit. I remember our time back at, about 20 years ago or more than 20 years ago, we experienced it. Some of us had to do 2.5 years in secondary school. We saw it happening because almost every year or every other year, there was a change in academic calendar. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, again, it happened. And now the academic calendar is changing again. Well, for you teachers, for parents as well, you will be hit hard. We have to talk about this right here on the show to get to understand how teachers are feeling about it, how parents are feeling about it, and even the students as well. People are of the opinion that GES didn't take a lot into consideration. For others, they feel GES has done the best because it's in the interest of these young ones. How will it help them when they come out of school with regards to how they're going to face the world? Is it going to be positive or is it going to be negative? We are going to be talking about all of that right here. But before then, let me give you a summary of how it's going to look like. Now, the very first term starts from the Tuesday, the 10th of January, and they end on the 24th of March, 2023. 10th January, 24th to the 24th of March, 2023. That's when school go on vacation. Second term begins on the 3rd of April and ends on the 15th of June. Did you get it? So 24th March and then 3rd April. Do the calculation yourself, the number of weeks the children are home. Then from the 3rd of April to the 15th of June, they are in school. From the 15th of June, no, from the 16th of June to the 27th of June, they are back in school. Again, calculation. And then they vacate on the 14th of September. Break period for you to make the money to pay school fees. I don't know how you're going to do that, but we ought to survive. If it's in the interest of the children, then we have to do this. And joining me this morning for us to discuss this particular conversation is Gideon Papo, who is from the Kotobabi GNAT Local Secretary. He is actually the Kotobabi GNAT Local Secretary, and also Mr. William Yita, who is the Accra Metro West District GNAT Chairman. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Very great.
You're doing good?
Yes, please.
You've seen the academic calendar? Mm-hmm. Should I start with you, Mr. Ita?
Okay.
Your opinion on it?
Yeah. Coming out with new things is not a bad idea, but the way we go about them may be bad. Because this calendar, if you look at it, is going to squeeze the children and the teachers and overstretch them within the period that is going to be implemented. And we see that as unfortunate. If you are coming out with a calendar that is going to last for a longer time and you want it to have an impact, and even the very reopening day, the very first reopening day happens to be on a weekend, then you tend to wonder how much thought and energy has gone into it before we are finding ourselves in such a situation where a reopening date has been scheduled to fall on a weekend. This is not the first time. When the semester system was going to be rolled out somewhere around last year, a similar thing happened. When they brought out that calendar, the reopening date was also on a weekend. I don't know if we are switching to reopening on weekends, then we need to be informed because it's not the normal norm that we know. Yeah. Schools will usually resume on Tuesdays, and then vacations will be on Thursdays. Even though this time around, last year, like this, last term, we vacated on a Friday. That was quite understandable because of difficulties in the exam that the class 4 pupils were to write, that national standard exam. Yeah, so that one is understandable. But this particular one, where you put somebody in charge to design a calendar for national use, and this calendar, even dates, becomes a problem. In fact, I just can't...
You can understand.
I can't come to terms with it.
Okay. Let me come to you, Gideon. Your take on it as well.
Thank you very much, Rosalind. If you look at this calendar, it means for the first time in the history of Ghana, we'll be doing 4 terms in a year.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at this calendar, the vacations are like 9 days, 10 days. Was the strike the teachers had about the Director General legit? about he being a professional, an educationalist, or he coming from another place? Was it well thought through? I believe a proper consultation should have been done, because teachers are also stakeholders in education.
Are you saying that the strike was legit?
Is that what they are telling us?
It was.
It was.
Yes.
Meaning that he's not competent enough? He doesn't know what he's about?
No, it wasn't about his personality or competence.
No, competence has nothing to do with personality.
Well, so it's not about his competence, but it's about the nature of the job that he's been tasked to do.
He doesn't understand, is that what you're
He
saying?
needs to, have an in-depth knowledge of what really goes on in the GES. You understand? It's like this person is a master of a particular trade. If you take a mechanic to go and work on your door at home, you can imagine, because that person has the expertise in fixing cars. Now you have decided to take him to go and fix your door. If he turns it the other way and fix for you, you don't have to complain. And so we feel that just as the framers of the policies found it necessary not to upgrade people who did other courses other than education, in the same vein, you should never bring somebody who didn't do education to come and head education.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The point is well made. Yes.
Thank you very much. What goes on in vacation? Every good teacher sits down and does evaluation and analyzes each student. So at the end of the first term, I have to look at each student, their challenges, their positives, and know how to plan myself for the next step. Now I have 9 days to do that. You have a class of about 60, 70. You have 9 days to do that. You also have to rest and you have to spend time with the family. Is 9 days enough? Are parents ready to take their kids back to school after 9 days to provide stationery, other resources? And we are in wonderful times now, which they keep telling us. I believe the GES should have consulted more on this new academic calendar. And we would like them to come again on this academic calendar.
Let's talk about the 9 days rest for the teachers.
Yes.
You're saying it's not enough.
At all.
How many days will be enough for you?
On the previous calendar, we were doing 25 days as rest, which is even less than a month. But if you look at what goes on during vacation, 25 days would have been okay. Because, like I said, you go per student. Per the new curriculum, you analyze the students or the learners individually. And now we are doing inclusive education. So whether it's a developing student or approaching proficiency, such a student must be a case study for the teacher to accommodate him and bring the best out of such a child. So it's not more like a general thing anymore where I'm like, okay, I have 20 best students in my class. It's more individualistic. I can't do that in 9 days. I can't do that.
You can't?
I can't do that at all. Then
you're talking about 70 students, you said?
Yes.
Wow. For a teacher?
Yes.
And you have to analyze all 70 students?
Yes.
Within the 9 days?
Yes.
But was the 25 days enough for the analysis?
Well, it was. You know, we have now started with the new curriculum thing. The old one didn't have this kind of
analysis.
Yes, because it was a general thing. But with the new one, it's dealing specifically with each learner.
Okay.
And so that is where the problem is. And the 9 days is woefully inadequate. A colleague of mine's wife teaches in Apowa, I think in the eastern region. Now she was about to leave with her 4-month-old baby to that town. She's a teacher. Now she sees the new academic calendar and tells the husband, I cannot come back for holidays because we just have 9 days, looking at the transportation and not coming back and going back with this 4-month-old baby. That means this man will have to see his wife probably at the end of the year.
Yeah. Because
the other vacations are like 10 days, 9 days. What happens to that marriage?
Right. Mr. Ita, yes, we're making a point with regards to those heading the units.
Yeah.
You were saying that you feel they are not the right people to head the unit because they are not educationists.
Well,
Is
not
that
all
supposed
of them.
to be? Not all of them.
Yeah. We had a take with the appointment of the DG, which was done without any consultation. And the fact that over the years we've been rejecting people who bring even economics if you do BSc, whatever you do, which does not have a direct bearing on education, is not accepted for upgrading. I had to do 2 first degrees because my economics was rejected. And so I then have to go back and do the one which has direct bearing on education. So if I was rejected because I did economics, which could even be taught at the SHS level, and then maybe you bring a banker from somewhere to come and head those that you've rejected their certificates already. What is the fairness in all this? I think they wanted me to really prove to them that I had what it took to be within the inner circle. And even me as a grassroots person, if you require all this from me, then what about the one who is coming to implement? You should know that the DG's job is to implement policies. And you should be able to read through the policies, understand whichever way you are going to pass through to implement those ones effectively, to be able to achieve the objectives for which that institution was set up. But
will this not help build the children's future? The academic calendar?
It will have an untold hardship on even the children themselves, because you should know that we have children from KG right up to JSS.
Junior high school.
So if you have a 4-year-old kid who is going to be subjected to this compressed calendar, you can imagine what happens. At least children need rest. If you look at the chart for national standards in education, Finland and Korea are leading. Just take time after this, Google and check and see. The children, they play more than they really learn in the classroom, and they are still topping the chart. We do more in the classroom than we play, yet we are last at the bottom. So the problem might not necessarily be the number of hours you stay in the classroom, but other things that we are doing wrong.
So this conversation actually is not just about the teachers, like we said earlier. It's about the parents and the students as well. And definitely on Wednesday, we'll bring them here so we can have that conversation, because we ought to, get to understand how comfortable they are with this new system. Because teachers, you are telling us that you are not too comfortable. Now, you actually relate with the students. And so you're saying that it would not be too good for a student. Are you saying that it will affect the students, how they study? It will affect their decision making? What else are you saying?
Even their health, including the teachers. Because you see, in this era of stress, if your economy is jammed up, then the subsets that are in that economy, what will happen? They will be crushed. And so if you are further subjecting the children and the teachers to further stress, it means that you are not going to really achieve the objective for which you came out with this particular calendar. I know that they have a very good aim of doing this, because they probably want us to revert to the old calendar, which would have met the international standard, where every academic year begins in September. This may be what they are.
But that's what it was.
It used to be so.
It used to be so.
Yes.
What changed? Let's go back. Let's go back to that. Okay. Let me bring you in,
Gideon.
Papo. Let me bring you in. We know that COVID came in and it happened like that. But when it happened like that, did it affect the children?
Yes, we were asked to go home. The calendar was freezed. We were all uncertain about what was going to happen to all of us. But then the JHS were sent back to school to handle the Form 3s and the Form 2s, and they wrote their BEC thing. So we realized that, well, it's not that bad with our terrain here. So now GES came up with a semester thing, and we did 42 weeks in school. Then we went on first semester and second semester thing. Now GES wants to go back to the old system. We didn't have much problem with the semester thing, just that the way it was also structured, because we spent more months in school than vacations. I think we are losing sight of what is right and the psychology of education, because rest is important in play. During the format, the 3 terms, it was code to the COVID thing. If we still want to go back, there should be proper consultation. There should be a roadmap. We can't squeeze everything in just a single academic year. Now they are telling us that BEC will be in somewhere in September. It used to be May, June. That's okay. But then right after BEC, we will go home again for about 9 days and come back for another academic term. Students also need to evaluate their performance. Parents need to have discussion with their wards about, like, last time we didn't do well in maths, so what can we do? Parents have to look at remedial measures for their kids within the vacation periods. Parents need to plan for the upcoming term. The private schools, we already know what they do. Now, if a parent has to go back to raise another amount of money to go and pay within that short period, is it feasible? We are looking at GES to please come again. They should please come again. Let's have a broader consultation. We are not in a hurry to go back to the old system. It is our system. It is our education system. It is our children. If we take our time and do it right, we will get it right.
You might say you're not in a hurry to go back to the old system, but the authorities feel it's about time that we go back to the old system because things have stabilized now. Now, talking about this academic calendar that we are looking at, you know, where we are seeing about 4 terms in 1 year, do we know when it's going to end? When we start in September, are we going back to the old system where now we have just 3 terms in a year? Do you have any idea about that, Mr. Ita?
We are just assuming that we'll end up beginning the first term, the next academic year in September, just after the BEC. This might be the plan they have. We don't know because we've not been told. But if you look at the nature of the calendar, it may be gearing towards reverting to
So you don't know anything about it. All you know is that this year we have 4 terms that, you know, you have to teach the children.
We've also seen it on social media, just as you've seen it.
You've not been informed?
Oh. They just blasted the thing and everybody is reading it on social media and we have to use it.
Have you tried to get some kind of confirmation from the authorities?
Oh, it's authentic, though, but no much consultation has gone on in preparing this calendar.
Now, when you see these things and you are not too happy about it, you do have a union. NAT is there. What has NAT done about it?
Yeah, we are the union leaders.
Yes.
And, you know, this thing came out just some few days ago about...
it came on Thursday.
Yes, yeah. So we are taking steps to see how we can address this problem that we are facing. Because like you say, in the financial burden on parents, the stress on the children and even the teachers. Within my metro, he knows what I'm going through. People are even asking me what I'm going to do about the rampant deaths of teachers. In a week, I can bury between 2-3 teachers.
Really?
Every week. I'm telling you, he's on the platform. He knows what I go through. I'm telling you.
Why are they dying? What's causing the death?
Look, the stress in GES is serious. I'm telling you. It's impacting a lot on the teachers.
So the stress in GES is killing the teachers?
It's a factor. We cannot solely say that it is only the stress that is killing them, but what we know, because we are in it and we feel what the teachers feel. So we know definitely that the stress alone has a great impact on the health of the teacher and the child.
Wow.
Especially when you are going to compress the whole thing, no any reasonable break. 7 days, you go back. 9 days, you go back. In fact, if you have a child who has to travel a distance to get to school, and you always have to go get money down for the next term, what they call the fees and the other things, and then this time around, you are not going to be given that opportunity to, so you have to start looking for the money now. Just when the child comes home after a week, you are going to pay the fees and also get that TNT ready for the child. So it's not going to be an easy thing for parents and teachers this time around.
You can send in your messages and join the conversation. We'll definitely read it live on air. It's all about the new academic calendar. That's what we are talking about here. As a parent, how is that going to affect you? How is it going to affect your child? If you're a teacher at home as well, you can also send in your message for us to read. We are having this conversation because we have some teachers who are concerned about it, and they are even telling us that they haven't been told officially. They just saw it on social media, which is quite shocking to hear, because we thought that of course, when these things come out, teachers will be addressed before it even comes out to the public domain. But unfortunately, the teachers had to find out the same way the media found out. Now, let me come to you, Papo. With regards to the academic calendar, of course, if they don't do it like this now, how can they fix it and revert to the old system?
Thank you very much. I'm so happy you said we also found it on social media. 3 days ago, on the GNAT Education Facebook page, a new calendar is posted there. When we have done 5 weeks already in school and we are in the 6th week, 3 days ago they posted a new academic calendar. GNAT Education Service needs to really set up. Are we doing the right thing? Should this have come before we began the academic calendar? Or there's still consultation going on? I believe that let's take our time, let's give ourselves some space. We can take a 2-year plan, increase the vacation periods, take it gradually. If it has to get to a point whereby we have to cut 1 term off to go by the system, it is done. Because with the new...
But if we cut 1 term off, won't it affect the children?
It's our education system. It can be structured in a way to fit in.
How?
We control the number of topics to be done in a term, what the children should learn, what we should teach. It's not in competition with any other country. We own it as Ghana, and we have a peculiar problem and we want to go back to the right thing. Let's look at how we can do it.
Gideon, I think that I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. I think that there'll be some parents that if we should compact it and give it to the children, we'll have issues of parents saying, oh, there's too much burden or load on the child within a term. Because now that we know that the child, this is what the child is going to study, and it's 3 terms, of course, is divided, so the child has some breathing space. But if we make it only 2 terms, that means that we'll push too much load on that child. And how is that child able to digest all of that?
Yeah, that's a proposal.
Okay.
That I'm not saying they should go by that. That's a proposal. We can also look at the 3 terms and reducing the number of weeks in the term. That's also another proposal. We can look at the number of contact hours. That's another proposal. I'm only saying that when the broader consultation is done with all the stakeholders, because teachers, we are stakeholders, parents are stakeholders, if we sit down to have a proper consultation, I believe other people also have other ideas apart from what Ghana Education Service has presented. Or people can even be consulted to bring up a right calendar that can suit into everything. So if it's a 2-year plan to go back to the old system, it can be done in such a way that we will not be tightening it and creating all this inconvenience.
Okay. Mr. Ita, you wanted to say something earlier.
Yes. I'm trying to say that we might not necessarily have to cut some of the terms off, but we can drift gradually towards the old system.
How are we going to do that?
Well, we can just be increasing the, the contact hours per term and reducing the holidays gradually. If we're doing 25 days holidays, now we can do 20 for the first term, do another 20 for the second term, do another. So at the end of the day, you've already accumulated 15 solid days for.
So you're saying that then it has to be spread over a period of about 2 years, not just 1 year.
Yes.
Okay.
So that both parents and teachers will be relieved from the pressure that this new calendar is bringing on them.
What if they had done it 15 days break? Would that have worked?
It wouldn't be enough. Even the 25 wasn't enough, but we took it like that. You know, the body needs rest after, you know, a long haul. So. But the 25 was okay. We've been managing with it. 15 too, we could have, managed it. Even the 10, the 9 or the 7 that is coming, we will still manage it. But just that, we'll manage it with pain, because it's not a palatable thing. You just go home for 7 days and then you are back to work. Every day you have to hustle to get to work early, get home late. It's not easy.
So are you going to write a petition?
Oh, we as union leaders will definitely do something about it. Yes. As to whether they will listen or not, that is another matter.
Do you think they will listen?
Well, if they don't listen to, usually the unions have a way. We have a way. It's just that we don't want to be releasing our missiles too often. because too much of everything is also not good.
Okay.
You understand? But they need to understand that we are stakeholders, and whatever happens to our educational system is paramount to the...
Mr. Ita, please clear this for me. Are you saying that as a union, you will not accept this new academic calendar no matter what?
Well, we are not saying that we will not accept it, but we have proposals to make about the nature of the calendar and the untold hardship that is bringing on both our pupils and the teachers. We need the teachers. If I'm bearing between 2 and 3, is it, if you are a head of a particular organization where every weekend you have to attend 2, 3 funerals, you just imagine, do you think that is something that will interest you? People are asking me on the platform, what am I doing about this? I'm an individual. The union, cannot cater for all the needs of the myriad, the numerous people that we have, because the teachers are faced with a myriad of problems, So it's not about one district or one unit doing something. It's about having a national budget that may be taking care of screening, that will also lobby for the teachers to have maybe 2 days rest from each term. That is, if you get to midterm, you can give maybe Gideon 2 days to go and rest whilst the others do the work. When Gideon returns, then maybe Amma goes. You understand?
Do you have enough teachers to do that?
Well, but you must also be concerned about the teachers you are losing, because if you are losing teachers at this rate, and you are training just you have only few training colleges that produces teachers. Now, there's a quota system that has further even reduced the intake. So it means that where we are heading to is not a good thing for us. You see, so it's better to make the health of the teacher your main objective, so that you can keep them in the system and they will continue to work and deliver.
Let's talk about what's in your proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, give us, a hint about what's in your proposal that you are sending to GES.
Oh, it is currently being drafted by the General Secretary. I'm a political wing. We have the administrators. So the administrators will always do the drafting, then they'll bring it to us to approve, and then it will be sent to the appropriate quarters. So the General Secretary is working on those things. Yeah.
But you can tell us what exactly is in there?
Oh, not for the public consumption at the moment, because we want to always keep our guard in such a way that we can dodge some blows and also throw out some blows there. So we don't want to always release everything.
I'm wondering how those blows are. I don't know how heavy they are going to be, but it looks like GES will have to sit well. Now let's also talk about, you've spoken about the health implications on the teachers. What else on the teachers is going to be affected?
What else? Oh, their time, they have families and they need to cater for.
Their families.
Yes. Their own children need to have a very good parental relationship with them. And the teacher is always out. In Accra here, you must get up as early as 4:30 and prepare for work, by which time your child is still asleep. That is, if the child is attending school within the neighborhood. But if the child is also to go outside the vicinity, then by that time, the child must also wake up and start preparing to go to school. You will return late because of the traffic in town. You see, sometimes you get home when the children are asleep. You wake up early and leave. They wake up and then they are asking mommy, where is daddy? Didn't daddy come home yesterday? But so we are also parents, and we need to have that very good relationship with our children. Our wives, like the gentleman was saying, if you don't take time and you leave your wife alone for a very long time, anything can happen. You see, so we need to be careful with the way we treat the teachers.
Yes, you want to say something?
Yeah, and if teachers don't have enough rest, that means they'll be burnout. So you come to the next time, you're already tired. You don't have even energy to start with it. And when we were even doing the semester thing, you realize that when it gets to the 18th week, 17th week, we are burning out because we're already tired.
And the teachers would have degassed, eh?
Yeah. So, and you realize during that period that you can't do much, because how your body is feeling and all that. So we are pleading with them, they should look at the calendar again. And
let's talk about some of the strategies that can be put in place just in case the calendar will have to remain. Mr. Ita.
I don't see it remaining, but if it is to remain,
what can we do to make it feasible?
I just don't have an idea about how we can cope with this calendar in its current form, because it's like a sandwich that we have to eat, compacted. The stress, we have to. So we need to, like I suggested, we could be giving teachers in the schools some days. They should take turns to rest, maybe 2 days, which might not necessarily be what they call it, a legal leave, but a way of reducing the
I mean, the style of teaching. Can we change the style of teaching? Maybe more practicals going in there.
Oh, we are currently even doing more practicals. The new curriculum has come with only practical this time, because you are training children who are supposed to be innovative, creative. They are supposed to think critically, solve problems. So it's like the teacher will just, we are no longer teachers in the class, we are facilitators. We facilitate.
Okay.
So you state the topic, take the children through, and then they now begin to come out with some things that will help that lesson to go on properly. So at the end of the day, as they are brainstorming, they tend to discover things for themselves. So currently our system is such that the children are doing more practicals than theory.
Okay, so talking about this, you can still send in your messages for us to read live on air, especially to the parents and to the teachers as well. Let's hear your voices. And what Mr. Ita is saying is that this academic calendar is not good for the teachers, especially on their health, their families, and also when it comes to the students, it's going to be too much of a load for the students to take, and for the parents, talking about their pockets. Of course, the economy is tough, so it won't be easy for a parent to be dishing out school fees almost every 9 days. Sorry, after a term, you have only 9 days to recoup and pay school fees again. It's not going to be easy. But then it could also be just for a year. Maybe they have to crash it for a year, and then we go back to the old system. Maybe we should just make this sacrifice for just 1 year for the sake of the children. What do you think, Mr. Ita?
Your 4-year-old child who has just begun school is going to be away from home for all this while. This child will always feel homesick. And so if we had at least maybe even 15 days holidays, and the child comes back to be cuddled small by mommy, this child will be motivated to carry on with the activities in the school. But here is the case, when the child comes home just after 1 week, this child is going to be asked to go back to school. So the child is going to be away for a long time and will be learning, learning is not easy for even we the adults. What about the children? Yes. So I'm thinking that the idea of going back to the old system there is not bad. We are not against it at all. But we can do it gradually and get back to the old calendar. Who is chasing us? Who is compelling us right now to go back to the old calendar? Well, there's no much pressure on us to go back to the old calendar by crashing things together like this. So I'm thinking that we should reconsider, especially when you are looking at the stress it brings upon the children and the teachers.
Okay.
It's just too much.
Mr. Itai saying it's just too much. A few messages coming in. Good morning. I'm watching the program concerning the 9 days vacation. It's too short for their health. The GES should respect teachers' health. Look at the number of subjects they are doing in primary schools. It's too much. At least 5 should be enough. Ghanaian students will go to school and learn about how European countries came to Ghana and who was their leader and what are they going to use that in future. Why child will learn how to make remote and practical things, but Ghana book long. Do you still teach those things in school?
Yes, please.
Yeah, history is part of history.
Okay. All right. Correct. Zachariah's score says, okay, I'm trying to get some of the messages coming in. Okay, so I think we need to sacrifice this year and go by the new calendar to get back to normalcy. Without sacrifice, we cannot achieve anything. This coming from Eric in Obuasi. Some people think we should just sacrifice. Maybe change is tough, but we ought to sacrifice. Gideon.
Thank you very much. There are already a lot of challenges with our educational system. We are doing a common core program now, and it's looking at making most of our education practical. We already don't have internet, we don't have electricity, and we are supposed to use all this. Even textbooks now. We now have the basic 8 students. What we used to be Form 2 is now basic 8. And there are no even textbooks around for them. And we are dealing with all these things. Then now we are supposed to deal with another calendar with 9 days rest. So now somebody like me, I have my laptop, I have a music box. So I come to class, I put the topic. If it's life cycle of mosquitoes, I can download from YouTube. They watch it, they write the observations. Because I don't have a light in my school, my laptop's battery is going to handle that lesson for some period till it goes off.
You don't have light in your school?
No, most schools don't have electricity in there. Most schools don't have.
Those that even have, they've now provided them with prepaid meters, and they cannot even afford to load the credit because there's no IGF there for them to use for that, and no funding is coming to cater for that. So I'm thinking that if we've gotten to the era where we want to really make good use of ICT and we are providing Wi-Fi to the schools, then we should think through and either leave them with the analog meters, or if we are giving them prepaid meter, there should be a national budget.
So how do you teach ICT? I have to ask this one. How do you teach ICT?
Well, so it's now an albatross on the neck of the heads and the PTA or the PA. Right now it's even PA. The T is no longer there. Teachers are no longer in the.
So it's a parents association.
It's now a PA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the parents are the ones supposed to make sure there's electricity.
That is, if you have a very good PA, you may get assistance. But the way the system is scorching everybody is finding a place to hide. So when I call you, it will say, I'm also hot. You call this parent, I'm hot. They cannot even hold their PA meetings because
so why is it PA? Since when did they become PA, not PTA? When did they remove the T from there?
Well, it became PA last year, somewhere last year.
In some schools or all schools?
No, all schools is a PA now. I don't know about what is happening at the SHS level, but the primary
and who
level
brought it
up to GSS.
PA? Who brought this initiative?
The new minister should know something about that. But as to why the T is removed, I don't know. Because all the PA meetings are held within the premises of the school.
Are teachers involved?
Teachers are involved, but they are not legally involved. That means they are not actually being recognized by the system. They just go there because they may have to help the parents to make an input. So if these parents will need the teachers to make an input, teachers used to be secretaries, compulsory, because they know how to write, they know how to read, they can record everything accurately. Now, these people are compelled to get their own set of leadership without any teacher involvement. So if I write the minutes anyhow and I come and read it and it doesn't make meaning, how do you take a decision on that?
With that one in particular, we can't really say that they can't write minutes because there are some parents who are very competent. So with that, I'll beg to differ. But it's to do with, the teacher's voice being heard in that meeting.
Yes.
And you're saying that with that, no teacher's voice is heard in meetings anymore.
Oh.
There's nothing like PTA.
No. If you want to do it, you may have to do it through a parent. But you cannot go and pick the mic and tell them this because it's not your meeting.
I see. Actually, no times are changing like that. Hi, my name is Abdul Hafiz from WA in the Upper West region. This new development, is it applicable to continuous students or only the first years who are yet to be placed? Is applicable to continuing students, please. Hi, please, I'm Tracy from Takwa in Swam. I want to know the new calendar. Please, I want to tell GES that the academic year for our children is not helping us because of the Xmas. Okay. You can also send in your messages and we'll read it live on air. with regards to the new academic calendar, what your take on it is. Yes, the teachers have told us a lot about it, telling us how it's going to affect them positively or negatively. I haven't heard anything positive about what you've said today.
Well, the positive aspect is that we want to go back to the old academic calendar.
So you want it?
Oh, we don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Our issue is the way they are doing it, the process. We believe that let's give ourselves maybe 2 years and do it gradually. But the way they are putting everything to one single year, that is where the issue is. But we don't have a problem in going back to the old calendar. We know that GES, their work is to be the implementers of pre-tertiary education. Yeah. We respect that. But all we are saying is that let's take our time, let's have a broader consultation, and let's be able to do it gradually. So
I'm very interested in the ICT being taught in schools because these children are writing exams on it. Yeah. So currently, how are you teaching? I'll go back to that question again. How is it being taught?
Like he's saying, you know, some of the teachers have been provided with laptops. Some haven't received yet. And so
some teachers have laptops provided by GES.
A few have received, yes, but majority of the teachers haven't received their laptops yet. So those who have, what they have to do is to project. You may have to use the PA to get a projector because even the municipal offices that were recently created by government to facilitate education, they themselves, they don't have. Those who have, majority of them are having it from their MMDAs, the district assemblies. They have to, you know, use their monies to purchase some of this equipment for them. And even that, because the directors are not getting the administrative grants to run the system, the printers and the whatever was given to them are now serving as white elephants because they can't purchase toner, they can't purchase paper. And so they are all sitting there. I mean, they serve as white elephants.
Is it that we are waiting for GES to give us the toners and the papers before?
No, there should be a fund set, because if you couldn't provide them, you knew they needed printers, but you couldn't provide. Fortunately, another organization has provided them with the printers. So what you can do is to give them the administrative grant, out of which they could use a token to purchase the toners.
So the administration grant is what we are asking for? Yes,
it's in arrears, I think for close to 2 years. So
what other things are in arrears? Let's talk about your car allowances. Are they in, car maintenance allowance?
Don't go there. Also in arrears for over 2 years. Yeah. If you want to talk about our problems, you need to just set up a desk for us to come and lay down the issues. Because GES is bedeviled with a myriad of problems. Let's finish with the ICT. With the ICT, you know, this time, because we are all going digital, even to what do you call it, carry out a lesson in the classroom, you need to do research and probably connect a device to make it more practical to the children. Sometimes you even have to connect and let them also browse the system and see what is happening there. So using ICT as a tool to teach is very, very good. But the infrastructure that will be put in place, or that is supposed to be put in place to facilitate that, they are really not in place. And the few that have lights in their schools, they cannot also purchase the credit to run the meters.
By the end of the day, you task the children during exams.
No. Okay. With free education, no taxation.
No, I'm saying you task them with exams. They have to write exams.
They have to write.
And they have to pass.
They have to write.
Yes.
They have to write.
Wow.
So, you know, they take Ghanaian teachers to be magicians. So every time they expect us to conjure.
You see,
they just tell you do this, and then the teacher will now have to decide what you can do to come out with good results.
All right, a few messages coming in again. This is from Apostle Kwasi Safo from Upper East Region. We are pleading with GES. They should at least give them 30 days vacation so that it can help their health. I mean the teachers and the kids. Okay, good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Agovi Bwedi Benny. I am an administrator in a basic school in Takwa. I think the government has to rethink this new calendar. Teachers are going to have a huge load to carry. Parents are going to suffer in their pockets, and students are going to feel sick in the course of the year, academic year. Even if they want to go back to the old calendar, it must be done gradually, not in a haste. Okay.
Yeah.
Gideon, you wanted to make a point before I went to read my message?
With the new curriculum, ICT is like an engine, the main engine of the curriculum. With
the new curriculum?
Yes.
Yeah. And you don't have lights?
And most schools don't have electricity. And he's talking about projectors, and I'm kind of laughing inside my head. And how many government schools have projectors? Even a whole district, how many districts of education have projectors? And how do you plug a projector if you don't have electricity in your school? So these are challenges. These are challenges. Nevertheless, they expect the children to do it. The private schools are doing well with these kind of things. So when you make comparison again here with their performance and that of the government schools, these are some of the main challenges. So most of the things are done in abstract. You try to draw, you try to let them imagine, but they can't feel it. There are schools with computers now, but cannot even put them on because there's no electricity. So the challenges, like you're saying there, is plenty.
And now there's a new academic calendar, and Mr. Ita has told us that definitely you're going to appeal, hoping that it will be changed or it will be amended.
It will be adjusted.
To suit the teachers, the parents, and the pupils at hand. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you
Your
so
final
much.
words before you go, Mr. Ita?
Yeah. So all the monies that are in arrears, I think if we really want to make to motivate the teacher to deliver, we should be paying all those monies very soon. We call something responsibility allowance with the old promotion system. If you went on promotion, if you were maybe AD2 and you've moved to AD1 on promotion, what happens is that you lose your responsibility allowance, and then you have to apply again for it to be reinstated. Now, so those who have been affected by that old system, they've been running the administration for close to 5 years now without responsibility allowance. I didn't know anything be 200 cedis and now 150 that one could happen. They've taken the teachers off. The teachers have been applying and nothing is happening. And so the problems within the GES, in fact, if you really want to state them, then you have to have a schedule where we are going to use the whole day to discuss GES.
We'll find a day.
Sure.
And we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
But hopefully on Wednesday we'll bring a conversation, with regards to...
Let's not end without mention of the upcoming promotion index numbers and center codes.
Right.
Because this exam, the first batch will be writing it on the 28th of February. So by this time, every potential candidate or prospective candidate should have known their index numbers and the centers where they will be writing the exam. So that even if they need to go and familiarize themselves with the place before coming back to prepare and go and write the exam, that should have been done. But even in Accra, no index numbers for teachers in Greater Accra yet.
We don't know.
And the first batch will be going on.
So it's for teachers, not students, right?
Yes.
Okay, for
teachers.
Our
promotion now, we write exam, aptitude test. So I'm talking about that one. The Greater Accra index numbers should be released immediately.
Okay.
And then the other regions.
All right. Gideon.
Thank you very much. Some of us believe in education, and some of us believe in our children, and we believe in the Ghana Education Service. It is their work. We respect them for that. We are just telling them to consider our plea, and we should make things work together. Let's have a broader consultation for the betterment of the average Ghanaian child. Thank you.
I like that. Thank you so much for being here. I've been having a conversation with Gideon Papo, who is the Kotobabi GNAT Local Secretary, and also Mr. William Yita. He is the Accra Metro West District NAT Chairman. I don't know why I called you direct. But thank you for being here, gentlemen. I'm super grateful. Thank you. You've helped us have a very good conversation. Don't get up yet. Sit down for me. Because during the show, we'll be mentioning the lucky winners for our photogenic, event that we had, and of course tomorrow we'll invite you into the studio. Now, if you hear your name, make sure you respond on our WhatsApp number. If you don't respond, somebody else will be selected. So try and respond. Stay glued to your television set. Immediately your name is mentioned, you send in hello to us, and we'll know that you are alive and kicking, and you can definitely join us and grab your awards. So time is here, not now, but during the show. And we'll definitely choose our winners for today. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we are delving into the conversation with regards to women in business, and also we'll bring you some entertainment. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.